Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever felt like you were playing a role and stuck in the Matrix, then do we have the actor show for you. Today I'll be talking with Don Miguel Ruiz, the mega New York Times bestselling author of books including The Four Agreements and one of my all-time favorite guests and the author of a brilliant book to get you out of your roles, The Actor. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about getting out of your roles, out of the matrix, and into your true, authentic self. That plus we'll talk about mazes and mirrors, artist's eye and glass blowers, screaming toddlers and adult drama performances, specks of dust in movies, and what in the world judgment and villains has to do with anything. So welcome back to the show, Don Miguel. Are you ready to shine?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I'm so excited to be on your show. And yes, I am ready. Let's do it.
Woohoo! All right, before we dive right into things, Don Miguel, are we living in a made-up world?
Always. We just didn't know. We live in a fantasy world. We live in our own fantasy, our own creation, and it's only for us. Just like everybody else, every single human, they live in their own dream, into their own fantasy. And they are the main character of their story. As you are the main character in your story, then it's so exciting when you find this out and you can see that the same way that you create whatever drama you live in, you have the power to change it because you are the author. You write the script. You are the main actor. You are the producer, the director. You are in charge. But remember, you are the one who writes the script.
Which means, if I'm understanding right, and we're going to dive into the government of our minds in a minute. I think we have to do that. Since we write the script, if we don't understand who we're writing the script for or who trained us in writing the script, then instead of writing the most beautiful, elaborate, incredible creation, we're stuck writing an old script, aren't we?
Oh, definitely. It feels like we are trapped in this fantasy that we live that can be a big nightmare or can be a great paradise that we can enjoy. But of course, we learn first. When we grow up, we have so many great teachers. They teach us what they know. They teach us according the fantasy that they live. And in their head, we are secondary characters. And very soon, they start educating us. They start telling us what they believe about us. And we try to be exactly what they want us to be. And we create an image of ourselves. And our acting becomes more and more intense little by little.
There's a key word, I think, that comes up here, and that's individuation. And that is becoming our true, authentic selves. And from the moment that we are conceptualized, our mom, our dad has an idea of who we're going to be. And while we're cute and giggly at the beginning, they start to gift us with their rules, their hopes, their dreams, their personality, their quirks. And we can grow up, and if we don't recognize that we've simply been an actor playing the role that got us happiness, got us joy, or survived childhood, we end up continuing to play that role through our entire lives, don't we?
Okay, we're going to be actors until we leave our physical body. We cannot avoid because we communicate with people. But when we know that we are acting, we also know that everybody around us, they're also acting. They may know or not, but they're doing it the same thing. And they try to please everybody around them just the way we do. You know, one of the biggest fear that we actors have is critic. And everybody's have a big critic of whatever we do. They're judging everything. And we learn to be just like them. And we become the biggest critic of our own. We can be the most strict one because we may not like the way we are acting. You know, when there's all those people
Yeah.
telling us the way we should be, and we try to please them, we are modifying our acting just by trying to please them, and we sacrifice ourselves by doing things that we don't want to or that we are afraid to, but we are more afraid of the rejection. And like we behave in a certain way at home. We acting with our parents a certain way, but at school we act different. With friends, we are completely different. Then we can see that we are multifaceted artists, and we alike with a group of artists who play with us in those different places. Like at home, parents, brothers, sisters, beloved, or children, they are part of that group of actors, even if they don't know. But they live in the script that they create that is different from the way we play. It's a huge miracle that we can work together and create something bigger and bigger and bigger, like the entire society, like a whole country, because we are acting together and we change stages all the time. The stage is changing and changing and changing. Sometimes the stage changes so fast, so quick, that it's kind of difficult to adapt into the new stage. Like the beginning of this year, January, February, when the pandemic came into the world, the stage changed in the entire world. Everything changed completely, and we have a hard time to try to adapt to this new stage. And we see all the actors around us struggling the same way with new rules. It was amazing to see how everything changed, because we take for granted that the stage will be more or less stable. But when we use our memory and see the way we used to live before, we see, for example, by the end of the last century, the stage was completely different. Now we have many things they didn't have at that time. But if we go further in the past, like in the 60s, they didn't have like a color television. They have only 3 stations. The stage was completely different. The way we adapt to that stage was completely different. If we go to the beginning of the last century, it's even more. Now we go to the Middle Ages. Just imagine that you go back to the Middle Age knowing what you know right now. Mm-hmm. And everybody is acting in that way. Immediately you will know all the mistakes they're doing. You can see that they live in a huge fantasy they don't even know. Just imagine everything that you can teach and share. But if you start sharing with them, they will judge you right away because you are not of that world. They may think that you make a deal with the devil, and they will attack you and destroy you if they can.
How do we let go of what others want us to be?
Okay. First of all, I think it's important for us to be aware that we try to please other people, that even we sacrifice ourselves in order to please that people. And this is because we just don't know. That's what we learn, and that's what everybody else do. But when we have awareness, we start having that resistance. The problem is that because we are so used to keep sacrificing ourselves for the sake of other people is a challenge to stop that process, you know, to stop being the way we used to be.
How do we begin? We're all actors, we're all playing a role. We're now playing roles that we were taught to play. In fact, we were probably brought in here with scripts that weren't even our script. How do we realize that we're playing somebody else's script?
Well, it's kind of easy to understand that, to be aware. You know, for a long time we imitate other people, even without knowing that we are doing it. And usually we don't notice. That's why awareness makes a difference, because now you can play with, it's like this little story.
Yeah.
That this human who used to have thousands of masks, one mask for whatever this human needed. But someday a thief came and stole all his masks. He was terrified because he didn't know what to do without a mask. How can he face the entire world? Can you understand that fear?
I do.
And finally, then he went out, even he was afraid, being so angry, so upset, cursing the people who steal all their masks. But at a certain moment, for the very first time, he felt the warmth of the sun, and he smiled. And then he noticed that he really doesn't need a mask. He turned his face and he saw everybody wearing a mask and changed his mask. But with that awareness, he don't have to do that any longer. He started getting that freedom to be himself, whatever he was. And for the very first time, he was authentic. I hope that makes sense.
It does, and I want to bring it to the body because he had all these masks on. He couldn't feel the sun. He takes the mask off. He feels the sun. He is freed from the matrix. He is finally into his real life. And you talk about in the book, an artist education begins with their body, and that's in a sense what he is. I'm too excited. What he is doing. What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, we live in our physical body. And that's real. That's the truth. This is our home. We may like it or not. If we don't like it, that is a problem.
Yeah.
If we judge ourselves because we don't like the way we are, it's a big problem, because wherever you go, your body goes with you. Then it's important to accept ourselves just the way we are. This is an extremely important path for every artist. You see, there's all kind of faces, all kind of shapes, and everybody is just the way it is. Well, we are the way we are, and we cannot be anybody else. We can pretend and act like be somebody else, imitate our idol, etc. But we're gonna be ourselves imitating somebody else. And the same way, some other people may try to be like us and imitate us. Well, they cannot be us. Only we can be ourselves. Once that we really understand that, and we see our physical body in a completely different way, we will start liking the way we look like. If you yourself in a mirror and you smile, you can see that it's great, that smile, because it's authentic, it's what you feel, is what you are. Then when we stop pretending to be somebody else, that makes a huge difference. Now, another story is when you do it on purpose, because you want to look like, but you know you are not. then you know you're acting just like a professional actor. You know it's not you, but you get what you need, what you want. Then you have the power over all those masks, not the opposite. Because for everybody else, the mask have a power over the actor. That you are so scared if somebody takes your mask off. And because you are the greatest critic, if you criticize yourself, you feel that it's not okay to be you. That's why that metaphor, when you no longer have a mask and you're terrified and you feel that nothing happened. And nobody really noticed because they're so used to in their own mask that nobody noticed that you don't have a mask. Then your authenticity gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And like we say before, you know that you're more authentic when you no longer care about what other people think about you. Because now you know exactly what you want. And this is what you do, is how you guide your life. You're no longer there to please other people unless you want to do that. But now you have that power. The mask don't have a power over you. You have the power over the mask. And you wear it and change mask anytime you want to. And that's what makes a great actor. When you finally know this point, and you see that go hand to hand with your authenticity, to your integrity.
Thank you. I did a couple years ago. I was at a music concert. Somebody was pretending to be somebody else. He was pretending to be Hank Williams,
Mm-hmm.
and he was really in
Mm-hmm.
the role. But he kind of crinkled up through the concert and started to look really upset. And my wife Jessica and I were very sensitive to energy. And once the musician seems upset, it's time for us to leave. I think he embodied the role so much that he forgot that he was wearing a mask, and his true
Mm-hmm.
authentic self wasn't able to come out, and it was knocking at the door. And I wonder how important is the language we speak to ourselves. In fact, you say you and I are both masters of who we say we are.
Mm-hmm. Because we practice all of our life to be what we believe we are, that nobody can do it the way we do it. And we don't even notice. We have all the script done. We just repeat things that we say so many times in our life. We know it by heart, even if we are not aware of that. Then the main point is when you are aware. When you finally are aware, you find out that everybody else is doing the same thing, not just you. And you see that everybody is creating their own script. And if they suffer, it's because that's the way they write their script. There's nothing to do with you. And when you notice you are the one who's writing your own script, you have the power to change it the way you want it to in your way, not in anybody else's way.
Every single one of your books, I believe, Miguel, has the same theme to it. You are wanting to wake people up to their true, authentic self. So if they're listening to this, that goes a long way. But is there a way that they can get in front of a mirror, get in front of a journal, get in front or inside of their head and say, hey, whose life am I living?
This is very important because if we don't have the awareness, we live the entire life pretending to be what we are not. And we are victimized for not being authentic. But really, it's nobody else's fault. You know, our parents teach us what they know, the best they can, not better, not worse. If they didn't do better, it's because they didn't know how. The same way their parents didn't know how. And we don't know how either when we have children. But we do the best because we love them. And we think this is the best for them. That's how we educate them. This is how we train them to be what we wish that they become. But they have their own mind. They make their own choices. Then for a while, they will accept, but they always rebel in one way or another way. But rebellion is always in them because they try to be authentic even if they don't know. The same thing that we do.
There's a lot of programming. You talk in the book about adults throwing temper tantrums and creating a drama. And I found this fascinating that as a child, we learn that the louder we are, the more likely we are to get our needs met. Now, in some families, it turns to abuse and you go really, really quiet. You go the other direction. But for those who learn the louder we are, the more we get our needs met, we keep playing this role as an adult.
Because it works. Yes, because it keep working. Keep working and we get what we want. The problem with that is that many people don't like what we do. And if they're afraid, they pretend that they do. But they're pretending. They're playing a game also. They're acting. Then if you see a couple, there's two persons trying to control each other, trying to domesticate each other. And they do it for your own good. I love you if you let me control you. You love me if I let you control you. Then it's a war of control with two different actors. And they are modifying in order to try to get what they want. Could be with words, could be with actions. Then they always gonna get an equilibrium. You know, if it's a masochist, we'll find someone who hurt them, who abuse them. Then there's so many ways to get an equilibrium. The only thing that I can say is that nobody can abuse you more than the way you abuse yourself. If someone abuses you a little more than the way you abuse yourself, this is the moment when you decide to leave. I had enough. I cannot put up with that anymore, and goodbye. But if someone abuses just a little less, you will stay for whatever reason, because you feel guilty or who knows. Everybody has different reasons. But that is the limit, the self-abuse. Nobody can abuse you more than the way you abuse yourself.
That brings us to the question of love and the importance of love in waking us up. How do we, it sounds strange, but use this?
Well, as you see, love is the motive for everything we do. It's what makes the actor keeps going and acting. The problem with love, like we say so many times, is that we learn to love the same way like everybody else love. And this is conditional love. And we use it also with ourselves. I love myself if I become the way everybody wants me to be, the way I wish to be, the way I wish to be accepted by everybody else. Then even we love ourselves with conditions. And we are not aware of that. As you can see, awareness is a whole mastery. When we master awareness, we also will master transformation, because then we can adapt to any stage. Whatever is changing, we go with the change.
Please.
Then awareness is very important.
Thank you. Forgive me for asking this question. I don't know how to put this. And I'm going back to Neo and the Matrix a long time ago, when blue pill, red pill. I couldn't
Yes,
tell you which is which. But as we're getting this awareness, you talk about the couple walking down the street and the fact that they're each working to domesticate each other. As you become more aware that you have been domesticated and you're working to reveal your true self, to play your true role, and you start to look at everybody else, how does it not become a mind bender as you start to see that everybody is interacting with you with their own rule as well?
Well, there is a key word, which is the most important part of love. And that is, like we say many times before, respect. We cannot give what we don't have. Then respect begins with ourselves. We need to respect ourselves, respect our physical body, respect our story. When we have that respect, now we can respect other people. We respect the way they are, the way they think. We may not be we may not agree the way they believe, the way they think, the way they say, but we can respect their story, knowing that just like us, they create their own script. And this is what they believe. They think that they know the truth. Well, they may know the truth for themselves, the way they believe is true. But beforehand, we know it's not true. It's same with ourselves. All those comments that we give to ourselves, we know it's not true, especially when those thoughts go against ourselves. Like you say, oh God, I'm so stupid. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I'm never gonna make it. There's no way. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I am not intelligent enough. Well, you are lying and you're not respecting yourself. Then how can you respect others when you don't respect yourself? But yes, we can pretend because we are great actors. We can pretend to respect our boss. Is really respect or is just fear? See? But we can pretend. As an actor, we can pretend whatever. What is important is to have that awareness. Then you're talking about matrix. Well, the whole thing is really matrix. But it's not only one, it's 8 billion different matrix. And we all get that, I don't know, whatever color of the pill that we take, but we believe in that fantasy that we are living. And it's just a fantasy, looks real, and together we make it kind of real. But the other pill, which is the truth, it will change everything, because once that you know, you no longer will believe it. Now we're talking about the fifth agreement. That's that pill who talk to tell you the truth and say, be skeptical, but learn to listen. Be skeptical, not because we are more intelligent, because we are better than others. No, because we know that whatever they say may be truth for them, but not for you. The same way, whatever you say can be truth for you, but not for nobody else. Then we can say with that point, like I tell all my apprentices, don't believe me. Don't believe yourself and don't believe anybody else, but listen what they say. Listen what I tell you. Listen what you tell to yourself and listen what everybody tells to you. And know beforehand that this is true for whoever is saying it, but not necessarily is the truth. Then take for whatever they say what it works for you, what you can use in your life to improve. And whatever go against yourself, put it away. You don't need that. It's nothing personal. When we do that, now the entire stage changed for us. We no longer believe. We know we are acting. We know everybody's acting. And we made decisions to keep playing or not playing, or in which way we want to play. But now you're playing without a mask, and nobody noticed that you don't have a mask because they really don't care if you have the mask or not. But now you see everybody's wearing a mask, but it's okay. They have the right to wear a mask because without a mask, they will be so afraid because there's the biggest mystery. And the mystery is ourselves because we don't know what we are. We only know what we believe we are. We don't even choose our own name. And we call ourselves humans just because everybody else calls themselves humans. You know, like I say so many times, the dog doesn't know that it's a dog. The cat doesn't know that it's a cat. We call them dog, we call them cat, and they just don't care to be dogs or cats. They just exist. Same like us. We call ourselves humans, but who cares really? It's just a word that changed in other languages. It doesn't mean the same, it's just a word. Then the truth is that we only know what we believe we are, but we don't know exactly what we are, but we are. We are here, we are alive, and we no longer care what we are. We just enjoy. Then the matrix is still there, but you know it's a matrix, and you know it's the whole stage. As an actor, you will keep acting until the moment that the curtain is closed. And this is when you leave your physical body, when your brain is no longer reflecting your mind, then game is over.
Wow. How do we, you mentioned the word afraid a while ago, and I can see fear on many levels. Fear of revealing ourselves to other, fear of discovering who we truly are, fear that if we do not toe the party line, if we no longer allow ourselves to remain in that one domestication, we're always domesticated, but now we're domesticating ourselves, a fear of what may happen. How do we break through that matrix to the other side of that fear?
Well, the answer is the same: awareness. You only can change something when you are aware of what you want to change. Then when you know that you are no longer authentic, is because now you know that you are what you are and you don't have to please other people, that you act without the mask. When you act with the rest of the people,
Yeah.
then they put a mask on you. It's not your mask. It's how they perceive you. It's what they believe about you. But this is not real. You know, the moment that you left, that the curtain is closed, they still alive and they have you in their memory. But it's not the real you. It's what they believe about you. Then every human who knows you will remember you in a different way. It's still a ghost that is living in their mind because the real you is not here anymore. And your ghost will survive until the last human closed the curtains and nobody really remember you. Yes, you can leave a legacy, like write a book or write a song, whatever, and people will keep knowing about you. Let's see, like a Mozart,
Mm-hmm.
Leonardo da Vinci,
Mm-hmm.
we know them, but we don't know exactly how they looks like.
Yeah.
See, somebody painted, we have an idea. Now it's a little different because now we have photographs, we have movies, etc. Then let's see, now we know about John Lennon, given that he died in the 80s last century, but everybody see his face, but everybody have a completely different idea about what he is. He's a ghost that lives in millions of humans, But it's not John Lennon. He already go. But he will be there until we still remember him. That could be centuries and centuries in the future. But it's not him. It's just what we believe about him. And yes, we hear the music, we keep enjoying the music, just like the Mozart or Beethoven or any other musician. Or we write about Leonardo da Vinci, Tolstoy, whoever. But it's not really important that we leave that kind of legacy. No, because the real us, the actor, is gone already. And it's really not important. What is important is how we live all those years that we live in our physical body. We can create a huge drama, or we can live a wonderful paradise, keep exploring, and enjoy every single moment. It's really a personal choice. And this is what I tell everybody in all my books, in a different way, but the same thing.
Here is one of the most beautiful, and thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was thinking of John Lennon as you were saying that, so I'm so glad you brought him up because I'm fascinated, but we can't know who he is. He's gone.
Exactly.
You say this line, and it is to me, it brings me back to that couple walking along, but it is so incredibly powerful. If you gave yourself the love you crave, you wouldn't be so desperate to find it somewhere else. If you respected yourself absolutely, you'd be immune to manipulation.
You see, in the Mastery of Love, we talk about the magical kitchen. That's exactly what that means. Nobody can buy you with a pizza because you have a magical kitchen. You can create whatever for whoever and you share it. You don't have the need or the fear of not having it. You see how beautiful is those kind of uh, stories that in a different way is telling you the same thing, but it's a way that we can share in their mind, they understand it, and now they can live that because that can make a difference in people. The truth is that we don't need, we are. We don't need love because we are love. Then all you need is love is not true. We are love. We don't need it. We can create love for everything, for everywhere.
You brought the Beatles up, and now you brought them back down. 2020 has been such a year of rocking people to the core that to me it's beautiful in a sense, and I make no light of the
Yes.
suffering and anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it's forcing us, well, basically, Don Miguel, our masks are breaking. They're shattering before us, and we're scrambling to put on new masks as fast as we can. First, there's the mask of I go to work. Then there's the mask of I stay home. Then there's the mask of the partial lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
of the getting sick, of the recovery, of the whatever it is.
Yes, like I said before, the challenge is that the mask don't wear you, you wear the mask. The mask have no power over you when you have awareness, but you have the power over the mask. That make a huge difference. You know, this year they changed the stage very fast, and it's difficult for actors that they know they're actors to change as fast as the stage is changing. And with that kind of change, it forces you to see yourself, to see if the mask is working or not. And it challenges you to see your own priorities, because this is actually important. Because perhaps we didn't have the priorities in the right order. Priority number one is you. Because without your body, you cannot share anything. You cannot talk, you cannot go work and give whatever to your people. Then your body is always the first priority. The priority two is the people who depend on you, like your children, your beloved, parents, family, etc. This is the second priority. It is based in the love that you have for them. and the responsibility that you bring. Because let's see, if you have children, they didn't ask you to come, you bring them, and you are responsible for them. The next priority is your work, your creation, the way you express yourself in whatever direction in life. Then if you have these priorities in order, it will be much easier for you to adapt to any circumstance as an actor. Then when you love your physical body, it makes a big difference.
When you treat the main character as you truly wish to be treated, and that's what you're saying,
Mhm.
the play changes, doesn't it?
Yes, let's see that you have a pet that you love so much,
Yeah,
a dog or a cat.
yeah.
You do whatever for your dog or your cat. You never allow that anybody hurt your dog or cat, mistreat him, hit him, etc. Why in the world we allowed other people to hurt our physical body when it's bigger and better than any pet? Your physical body is your real pet. You live in that physical body. How can you allow that other people come and disrespect your physical body? How can you disrespect your own physical body? You're never gonna give alcohol to your dog. Why you give that to your physical body? Why do you poison your physical body with food, with emotions? Do you understand what I mean? Then if you treat your physical body better than you treat your pets, now you are in the right way.
It strikes me that then we need to shut off a lot of the performances around us so we can recognize what's true and not. Because if not, we're continuously being domesticated, sold a story of how to treat ourselves or who we are.
Just imagine that you want to marry someone, to bring that someone to hurt you, to disrupt your your story
Mm-hmm.
and make it a nightmare. You know, when we are children, we go to other children because we want to have a good time. We want to enjoy it. We want to play together, to have fun. Why we have to go in a relationship if we'll not have any fun? That we have to sacrifice ourselves for that relationship. Did that really make sense? You can see that we are completely responsible of the half of the relationship, which is ourselves. But we are not from the other half.
You have a very interesting definition of spiritual mastery. You say spiritual mastery is about transcending the main character of the story.
Exactly. To be aware that you are not what you believe you are. You are transcending that image that you create about yourself with everybody else's help. But you did it. They only give you their opinions. You accept it, you agree with them, and then you try to be what they want you to be.
Therefore, the ultimate, bring us full circle, and we'll begin to wind things down rapidly here. The way that you can transcend the story is how much respect and love can you bring to you just as you are before you even put on the mask.
Exactly. Becoming authentic once again.
Woohoo! Don Miguel, this has been so beautiful. Where can people go to find your beautiful book, The Actor, to find out more, to find your apprenticeship program, and to find out everything?
Well, you will find out that in my webpage and my children's webpage also, and the books in Amazon bookstores. I don't know exactly where, but you will find it.
What is, I have a feel for it, but what would you say is your overall mission right now? Because you are on a mission with every breath that you have.
Well, it's so simple. I was born being loved. I am love. And everybody else is love. Then I am God. You are God. Everything is God. We are always creating. Then I can say that to everybody who's listening, you are God. Don't put your faith outside of you. You are the creator, and you create a main character in your story which have your name, but is not real. You are real, and you are immortal. You are energy. You cannot be destroyed, but you live in matter, and matter have its own destiny. It was born, grow up, maybe multiply, grow old, and die, and disappear, but not you. You don't have a beginning and you don't have an end. And you create everything that exists. But right now, you are in your physical body for very short time. 80 years, 100 years, it's nothing that go like this, but you are eternal. Then have that awareness and just play the game. Be the best actor because you are acting being yourself. And all my blessings to all of you.
Don Miguel, I love you. I want to give you the biggest hug.
Thank you. I feel it.
This has been so, so beautiful, much more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. I cannot thank you enough.
Well, you have all my blessings, all my love, and give it to everybody you love and everybody who is listening to you because they are you. Everybody is you, really. And you are everybody.
Woohoo! So on that note, for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get the actor, and begin waking up from your dream world today and shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this latest interview as much as I did. For more on how you can up-level your life, click on the links below for our mini masterclasses, for our boot camps, and for a very limited availability one-on-one coaching with me. Be sure to give this a huge thumbs up if you like this, leave your comments below, and you can check out more amazing videos here and here. Love you guys so, so much. Shine bright. Woohoo!